Alright, y'all, I'm back one more damn time, man. I don't know what the fuck keep happening, man, but it just my Wilder video just refused to load up, man. So it's my last time giving my thoughts and opinions on bro. Um, where does he go from here? Like I said earlier, I don't know. I'm not sure. Does he retire and just ride off into the sunset after this mediation and you get about 10 M's or whatever? I hope not. That's not what. That's some buster shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you still have value in the division. You only got one loss. Shout out to Floyd, but he's created this fucking he set this precedent that if you lose, you're a corroded fighter. You're no longer a factor. Fuck out of here, man. You lose, you get not. It's fighting. It's boxing at the highest level. So that means it's not too many people walking this planet that's gonna be able to deal with you. And the cats that you're fighting are the only cats that are somewhat in your in a position of where they can get to you. That's admirable. It's prize fighting, you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna lose. The likelihood of you going undefeated is highly unlikely. So, man, fuck out of here, bro. Like, why would you retire? You still, it's still some years left in you, man. You ain't been in too many fights that's gonna take, they ain't nobody really beat years off of your life outside of a Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? You haven't been in no scraps of that magnitude yet, or more than what happened, last February a year ago. So where do you go from here? I'm seeing a lot of cats. I'm hearing what's my nigga name? Charles Martin. And my only issue with that is when Anthony Joshua decimated that nigga, y'all went out of y'all way to discredit the win. Who the fuck is a Charles Martin? Like he's not a champion or whatever. Like you, man, fuck out of here, man. So that would be my only issue. You know what I'm saying? Now y'all are willing to give this man his just due because Wilder's about to step in the ring and allegedly rumble with him. I don't think he was nearly as bad as a champion as y'all think he is. He showed skill. He most definitely showed skill. I mean, shit, y'all want to gas Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz has never been a champion, and I think he was solid. He's never been a champion, though. Charles Martin has that one up on him. Fuck is y'all talking about? So I don't like the notion that now it's cool. Now it's cool for what I'm saying. Charles Martin is a credible opponent because Wilder might be looking to mix it up with him, and I don't like that. That shit is corny. But I do like the fight. I think it's a good fight, and I think it should. I think it should happen. And I'm seeing Andy Ruiz as well being his name being thrown into the mix. He was capping like he wanted to run that shit with with Dillian White. Nah, I don't think he want that. He was talking about freezing him out with all this. Nah, man. Nah. Hey, is he really ready to deal with that left hook from Dillian White? I don't know. And Dillian White is, outside of Anthony Joshua, he has the most credible resume in the division. So I don't know, man. Despite him getting knocked out by, Povetkin, he was dominating that fight. Povetkin he was paid to go in there and be the sacrificial lamb. That's why you don't count nobody out in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Just the IQ, his IQ, he flat. White never saw that shot coming. Nigga flashed the hook, came up. Ooh, ooh, that was devilish. So where does he go from here? Where does he go from here? Does he still have value as a heavyweight contender now? Because he's no longer a champ. He's a contender. What are we doing? So, you sullied that fight with Tyson Fury. You're not getting it. You fucked that up because you couldn't lose gracefully. You had the most to say when Wilder got crashed. Not Wilder, but Joshua got crashed. You had the most to say about that nigga. You had all the drag. Oh, he was never a real champion. This and that and the third, and yada yada yada. You had all the drag for that nigga. Wildettes. They came on there doing the same bullshit you was doing. He was never a real champion. He this and that and the third. He robotic. He yada yada yada. He weak. He ducking Wilder, despite him offering his team being in a financial position to offer 120 M's. Yeah, he was ducking. He came back. He got busy. He crashed that nigga Ruiz. He lost gracefully. He took the L. All right, cool. You got me. I'll be back. I'll be back. We gonna get that back, and he got it back and put on a boxing clinic for all you niggas talking about he's robotic. You know, fuck out of here, man. So you're not getting that third fight with Fury. The best you can hope for, the most you can hope for is root for Joshua to crash this nigga Fury, and you get a pay, and you get a, you know, you can still put yourself in a position where you can get that fight with him. With and you know, his, if Fury goes undisputed, you're not getting. You ain't never you'll never get another shot at the title again. That shit would be so dragged too. Oh my god, dude, that would be drag if that shit happens. If Tyson Fury beats Anthony Joshua, you were never gonna get a shot at another title again, ever. And that shit would be hysterical. Because in all honesty, you would deserve that. You know what I'm saying? You would have deserved that for letting some dumbass. I don't want to call them dumbasses. You know what I'm saying? Them is, you know, those are conscious black, you know, conscious black men. I love it. I love that movement. I'm trying my best to integrate myself into that movement with my literature and my ideologies and philosophies and what I read and what I research. You know, I'm really trying to be on their wavelength from an intellectual standpoint. But you have to be able to stay within the realm of reality. You can't allow, you know, some just because some brothers are, oh, my brother right there, my brother, and they're, you know, they're cognizant of, you know, our history on a global scale, and you know they know, you dig, that we taught the world literature, and you know, not literature but writing systems and things of that nature. You know, I mean, shit, if it wasn't for Black African people, we wouldn't even, nobody would know how to write what it is that they're saying. You wouldn't know how to spell your goddamn name without us. So just because somebody is cognizant of that, that doesn't mean that they're in a position where they can dictate what goes on in boxing. There is racism in boxing, most definitely. Any aspect of life is going to be racism, especially when you're dealing with black people. But you have to also look at it in context. A lot of the bullshit that goes on with Bud and Bob Arum, you know, you'll gas Lomachenko, but Bud got to cancel fights because you ain't getting him the proper promotion. Yeah, that's caused the pause right there. And what they say about him, if the shoe was on the other foot and Wilder was, you know, the alleged cheater, yeah, they would possibly throw him under the bus. They would throw him under the jail. He would be banned for life. And if he had a sketchy background of doing the shit that Fury has done, absolutely, he'd be out of there. But it's not over Wilder, you know. You know, Wilder ain't in that position. You know, he played. You know, he played it smart. You know, he played it fair in the sense of, you know, no tampering with the gloves and water and all that. It wasn't fair that he was fighting the competition that he was fighting as a champion, or even a, you know. There's no excuse for hiding 100, you know, 489th ranked fighters, my nigga. Like, you know, and like I said, you know, on the last video that got cut out, man, you know, I train in the sport. You know, I've given good work. You know, I train with nationally ranked fighters, and I've gotten my ass beat by them. You know, these kids at my gym ain't no joke. So I'm not a nigga that's gonna come on here and denigrate somebody who's putting on gloves. You know, it's still certain. I haven't walked through certain fires as other fighters. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fighter in the sense I go in the gym and spar and I fight with it in there, but I haven't had a fight like a book. I don't have a record. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to, you know, this is, I'm a Leo. This is my main right here. You feel what I'm saying? This is, it's hard. This is religion to me. You know, it's entirely too hard to. I'm very proud of my facial hair. You know, every man, you know, every, you know, young dude go through life. He can't wait to get that beard connected. You know, the minute this is, yeah, I'm a grown ass man now. So this is the primary reason why I haven't had a bout yet. It's not due to skill or anything like that. It's due to how do I cope with walking around with a baby face like I'm back in fucking at Lewis and Clark in middle school or something like that, or even Central High School. Shout out Omaha Blast you. But I don't know where he goes from here. You know, I don't know if he's, I don't know if he's, if if he's mentally there now, which he should be. I mean, it's a loss. I think y'all got to get out of this notion that if you lose, you use good. Just now, you got knocked out, but it happens in the sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about? So I don't think he should be. I don't think he should. I don't think he should just go to the wayside. I think he should most definitely try to get himself back in the mix. Humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? You fired the only brother on your team and kept the white boys. You know, and that dude was there for you for since the beginning of your career. The only dude who's tasted competition. You know, dude was a world champion to my knowledge. You X him off because you let all these goofy motherfuckers come over here and tell you your water was spiked and the gloves was tampered with and you felt your legs went out. Bro, you put on an extra 20 pounds. You know, you gotta be acclimated to that type of weight when you get in there and you rumbling, bro. 230, you look good at the weight. You wore it well. But I guarantee it looked like it was all upper body. And you got to go and train for a 12-round bout with a dude who's putting 270 pounds of muscle or just body weight on you, leaning on you the whole fight, and Debo in you and all that. Like, nah, my nigga, like, what do you expect? You're not acclimated to carry 230 pounds and fight for 12 plus rounds. Or not 12 plus, but 12 rounds. You're not acclimated for that. So, of course, your legs is going to go. It was jelly, my nigga. Like, what do you expect? It had nothing to do with your water. It had to do with you. You was doing just fine at 212 pounds and crashing niggas with that colossal right hand. So that was real unfair for you and some sucker shit to, you know, try and, throw Mark Breland under the bus, man. You let these fools come on here and do that bullshit and you play right into their hands, man, and you looking bad right now. And the only niggas who really feel sorry for you was LDBC niggas. Everybody else is like, man, whatever with that. Just get back in the ring. Put yourself in a position where you're willing to learn. You humble yourself. You got through 40 plus fights because you was fighting minuscule competition. The minute you stepped into the top 10, it got shaky. When you look at Luis Ortiz, it got shaky. You got hit a lot. A whole lot. You was losing rounds. Shit, in the first fight, they was on the brink of stopping that motherfucker. And I seen them save you in that. I forget what round it was, but you got extra time in the round to gather yourself. Nah. They saw what it was. They knew what it was. You was able to persevere. And you got them out of there. But that's what the elite is about. That's what the elite looks like. That's what it looked like, my nigga. Like, that's how it go. Man, you step in there with Tyson Fury, man, and you lost that first fight. You lost that first fight. You know that. You ain't win but 2 rounds. And even if you want to look at it, each round you won was a knockdown. So that's a 4 round. That's 4 rounds. That equates to 4 rounds out of a 12-round bout. You lost that fight, my nigga. Let's stop playing games. You lost. That's how I go. But I don't think you should retire. I hope you ain't no sucker like that. I don't think you would. Not my African brethren. I don't think you living like that. I'm not a fan of you. I'm not a fan. They just you disrespected. Mike is my favorite fighter of all time. How you were just completely dismissive of his accomplishments and and who he has fought. He snatched titles off of multiple world champions. Undisputed, unified. You've never unified. And on skill for skill alone, there's nothing you would have nothing in your arsenal to keep Mike Tyson at bay, to keep Mike Tyson honest. Because I guarantee you're not gonna catch him with no right hand. You're not. I think there's no heavyweight to this day that has presented the skill set that Mike Tyson has. Did he come up? Did he underwhelm? Yeah. Did he underwhelm? Yeah, he did. He did. But from a psychological, you got to understand what type of individual you're dealing with. Mike Tyson was a mentally weak dude as far as just, he couldn't keep his discipline. He couldn't keep his discipline. And, it cost him, prison, all these worldly problems. It had an effect on him. Dude, he was coming to the gym and not even training. He was getting knocked out in sparring. You think that's because of skill or the type of caliber cats he was fighting, or was that lack of focus? Oh, you wouldn't have been able to do nothing with a focused Mike Tyson. Not even close. I don't think there's no heavyweight that Mike Tyson couldn't have beat if he stayed focused. He beats everybody. But I'd still do like Holyfield's chances and Lennox Lewis' chances of beating him, or even a Riddick Bowe, because you can't teach height and athleticism. You on the other hand are not that. So I'm not the biggest fan of you. I can't even front. I'm not the biggest. I'm not a fan of you, but I am a fan of that right hand and the effect that it has when it lands. So do I think you should retire? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do I think if you're gonna continue to compete, should you humble yourself and get your ass in the gym and get with a trainer? Not even get with a trainer that's gonna teach you shit. Because I'm sure to my knowledge, from the rumblings I've heard, Mark Breland is he wanted to teach you, but you have to be willing to learn. You can't, you're not gonna be able to fight, top 10 contenders and champions the way you was fighting niggas who was 489th ranked or even 100 plus ranked as a champion. It's not gonna fly. It's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work, doggy. So, do I think you shouldn't retire? Don't let the white boy do that to you. Don't let him do that to you. Do not let him do that to you. You better than that. Make that shit right. You lost. He crashed you. That's how I go. Come back. Do what you can do to make that right. If you know what I'm saying, just in case Fury does beat Joshua, which I don't see happening. But if he does, I want my title back. I want my title back. Make that right. Get in there, holla at make it right, man. Just go in there and just make it right and get back in, solidify your spot once again, man. And keep it going. But other than that, man, I don't know, man. Charles Martin is a good fight. Andy Ruiz is a good fight. Dillian White is a great fight. Dillian White is a great fight because despite Andy Ruiz being a champion, a former unified champion, I think Dillian White has more. He brings. I think he's a higher caliber opponent than Andy Ruiz, given just on the fact that who he's fought. Him having the second best resume in the division. I think he's a bit higher caliber than Andy Ruiz, and I think Andy Ruiz is a really credible opponent. So you know, get back in it, man. Get back in it, do your thing, and keep it pushing, man. Keep it pushing. You know, we got some good Black American heavyweights coming up in the rankings, man. I mean, shit, man. Let them, they can, they could be looking up to a cat like you with the Jared Andersons and the Michael Coffees like I saw on Saturday night, man. That's a good look right there. So don't retire, man. Don't come back. I like. I'm trying to be as encouraging as I possibly can, man. Come back in, because I honestly, I'd be lying if I said I still want you to fight Joshua. I do. I still want that fight, and the fact that you guys both lost, I think that sweetens it even more in the manner that you lost in. I think that sweetens the